This is Culture Uncut. This is Culture Uncut. This is Culture Uncut. I am your host, Jason Spears, and Colt fans, we've got a lot to talk about.
This is Culture Uncut. I'm your host, Jason Spears, and it is divisional weekend. Wildcard weekend was really, really good. Lots of great football games. I went 4-1, I think, picking those games. The only loss I had was Jacksonville. Very disappointed in how Trevor Lawrence played in that game. In that game, it came down to quarterback play, and the Bills definitely had the better quarterback, so they move on. So this week, I'm going to cover the divisional rounds, break down the games a little bit, give you a little synopsis, and give you my picks. And going forward, I think I'm going to do my next video before the championship preview will be a Q&A, a Colts Q&A. Haven't done one in a while, so if you guys have any questions that you want answered, please leave them in the comment section, along with who you like this weekend in the divisional round. I'd love to hear your picks. And so that's where I'm at, and we'll get started here. So the Bills went into Jacksonville and won a very close game. I think like I said, the quarterback decided that one. The quarterback play decided that one, and now they get the fun experience of going into Denver, the number 1 overall seed in the AFC, in January to take on the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are favored by 1.5 points. This game is Saturday at 4:30 on CBS. So my thoughts on this game are kind of similar to what I saw in the Jacksonville game. I really think this is going to come down to quarterback play. The Bills are extremely thin at receiver, and that is a worry and a concern. But they do have Cooks, they do have Shakir, and they do have Coleman. Those are their 3 top receivers. So I think they should be okay. And really, the Bills' bread and butter right now is running the football with James Cook, who led the league in rushing. So I do like their ability to run the ball in this game. The Broncos have had issues stopping the run. You will remember early on in the season, Jonathan Taylor had a monster game against them. And they've kind of struggled at certain times of the year with stopping the run. Now, clearly, the Broncos have the better defense in this game. They can rush the passer. They have multiple guys that get to the quarterback. They led the league in sacks by a pretty wide margin, so they have a very good defense coordinated by Vance Joseph, who is now a coaching candidate for many different jobs. So this is going to be a fun matchup. I think the issue here is I don't trust Bo Nix in this game. And do the Bills have a great defense? Absolutely not. I think the key to winning this game, as crazy as it sounds, is going to be staying ahead of the sticks. Who can do that? Because I think if you get the Bills in a 3rd and long, you have a real opportunity to put pressure on Josh Allen, and that's going to lead to sacks, maybe not as many turnovers because Josh Allen is really good and experienced and he doesn't turn the ball over nearly as much as Bo Nix would in that scenario. It's same deal with the Broncos. If they're ahead of the sticks, it's a lot easier to run their offense and to do what they want to do. I think this is going to be a really close game, as most, I think, of these games are going to be. And most of them have been, which is great. I love the close games. They're very exciting, fun to watch. This is the first year I really watched all the games, and it's been a lot of fun. And in this one, I'm just going to, it's a gut feeling. I think a lot of people probably take the Broncos, but the line's, pretty even. I think if it was at Buffalo, the Bills would be favored by 1.5 points, but it's in Denver, so that gives them a slight advantage, I think. But at the end of the day, man, I just trust Josh Allen more than I trust Bo Nix. And so I'm going to take the Bills by a field goal in this game. I think 27-24, very similar game to Jacksonville, although I do not think the Broncos, as crazy as it sounds, are as good as Jacksonville. Jacksonville went into Denver and beat them pretty handily. So I am going to take the Bills in this game, even though they are kind of beat up and the Broncos are pretty fresh. They haven't played, and there's something to that week off. As a Colt fan, we've seen that. We've seen that, 2005, 2000, I think, was it 7. So who knows how the Broncos come out in this game? They might be flat. The Bills will be ready to play. I think this is a close game, but I think in the end, the quarterback play by Josh Allen wins it for the Buffalo Bills, and then they will head into the AFC Championship game. Moving on to the second game on Saturday, and this is a really fun one. The 6 seed 49ers, who went into Philly and won a huge game. I really had I thought that was a toss-up game, and if you go back and listen to my preview, I really had a gut feeling the 49ers are going to pull that out, and they did. It was a good game, and now they get the fun of going to Seattle, but the difference here is the 49ers have played at Seattle. This is a divisional game. Seattle's favored by 7. I think it's going to be closer than that. Because this is a divisional game. These two teams know each other. Now, the 49ers are down George Kittle. That's a huge loss for them, and they're pretty beat up. But at the same time, recently, Sam Darnold was on the injury report with I think, ribs, maybe, or something. It was questionable. Oblique. I can't remember what specifically it was, but I mean, I like this to be a one-score game, but for me, and it is a oblique injury. Now, if Darnold can't play, I like the 49ers in this game, but because I think that's a Drew Lock situation, and I'm taking the 49ers if something crazy happens and he doesn't play. But if he does play, I like Seattle by 4 in this game. I think there's been a big gap between their two matchups, but I do think Seattle is, to me, the best team in the NFC. I do think that it's going to be close, but I just think that they're at home. Seattle plays really well at home, and I love their running game, and I really like what Darnold's done this year. I think Purdy will keep them in the game. The defense for the 49ers will keep them in this game. Saleh really, really coached a great game against Philly, and I think he's going to coach a good game in this one. I think it's going to be another close one, but I think in the end, Darnold makes enough plays. The Seattle defense comes up with enough plays. They run the ball well enough, and I think they shut down, or not shut down, as much as you can limit McCaffrey, I think they'll limit him enough to win this game. I'm going to take the Seahawks 27-23. I think it's going to be another good game down to the end. These divisional matchups, you never know. I wouldn't be shocked in really any of these games if the other team wins. Honestly, I mean, the 49ers are very well coached, maybe the most well-coached team in the NFL. I just think they're a little talent deficient because of injury. So because of that, I am going to lean towards the Seattle Seahawks in this game. I think Kenneth Walker III will have a solid game, and I just think they're going to dictate the game to them. And, without George Kittle, I think it's going to be a little bit more of a struggle down the seams and going underneath because they just don't have that great player there. So I'm, again, taking the Seattle Seahawks 27, the San Francisco 49ers 23. Now we move on to Sunday, 3 p.m. on ESPN. The Houston Texans, who have fresh off a fourth quarter demolition of the Pittsburgh Steelers that ended the Mike Tomlin era in Pittsburgh in a 30-6 win. They are the 5 seed headed to New England, number 2 seeded New England Patriots, who are coming off a defensive masterpiece over the Los Angeles Chargers in a 16-3 win to get them to this divisional round. New England, again, favored by 3 in this game. Look, if Stroud has got to play better. He was not good in the game against the Steelers, and that's why the game was close until late, until the Texans really put the hammer down and won the game. Um, the bottom line here is it's kind of a pick'em game for me. I'm worried because Nico Collins has got a concussion, and I'm not sure that he's going to play, but they do have Higgins and Noel. So, look, I really like the Texans in this game. And the reason being is their defense is so freaking good. I know Drake May's playing at a high level, but I really think if they can just run the ball, keep, not turn the ball over, literally game manage time. Like CJ Stroud needs to Davis Mills this game and just manage it. I really think Houston wins this game. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think New England's offensive line, with Will Campbell, Jared Wilson, they're going to have a major problem with the edge rushers in this game. New England's going to have to be able to run the ball, because if they get in passing situations, they're going to get eaten up by that D line. I've been on the Texans defensive bandwagon all year, even when they were bad. The record was bad because it just is so good at all three levels. I do think that, if they can, if New England can get in a little bit of a rhythm, they can score some points, but I don't know, man. I just don't know if they're going to score enough to beat this Texans team. I think it's going to be an ugly game, a low scoring game. I'm talking like 20 points wins the game type of game. But I really like Houston in this game. I think Stroud will not play as poorly as he did against Pittsburgh. And I just think the Texans are going to force some turnovers, and they're going to do what they do. They're going to play well. They're going to do what they do on defense. They're going to force some turnovers. They're going to get after the quarterback. They're going to get him in 3rd and long. And, I just think that it's a pick'em game again. These are all great games. I'm really excited to watch all of them. But I am going to go with the Texans on a late field goal, 20-17, to upset New England and head to the AFC Championship to take on to take on Buffalo. And I think that would be a home game for the Texans. How crazy would that be? A rematch of Buffalo and the Texans, that Thursday night game where Josh Allen got sacked like 25 times. That's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing the Texans upset the Patriots and head to the AFC Championship for the first or second time. I think they might have went once and lost to Houston. I could be wrong, when Deshaun Watson was there, or that might have been a divisional game. But either way, I like the Texans to pull the upset in this game. But again, wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots win. But I do think it's going to be, either way, going to be a low-scoring defensive battle. Both have really good defenses. So we shall see. Now we move on to Sunday night in a very interesting game. The Los Angeles Rams, fresh off their close comeback win over the Carolina Panthers, travel to the Bears. Soldier Field, real fun place to visit in January. The temperatures are going to be in the single digits, and the Rams are favored by 3.5, and the Bears are coming off a great comeback win. The Bears just have that it factor this year. They have found a way to win games they have no business of winning. Two of them against the Packers, and now they have the Rams in their building. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Bears in this game. Not a lot of people picking them. The 3.5-point favorite, for the Rams. I like the Bears. I think the Rams are a better team, but the Bears are playing so well, and they have such good vibes with them right now, and they're playing at home, and they're used to playing in cold weather. The Rams are a dome team coming into Soldier Field, and the Rams really haven't over the years played great at Soldier Field against the Bears. I think they lost at the Bears last year, and the Bears were horrendous last year. So, but that doesn't mean anything for this game. I'm just looking at historical precedent a little bit, but I like the Bears in this game. It's going to be, I don't know what it's going to be. The wind chill is going to be below zero. And I just, dome teams traveling to those type of weather conditions generally don't fare well. And we know from experience all those Colt teams that went from the dome to play in frigid New England in the snow and all that, and 2003 and 2004, and and the Colts, I think, were probably better than the Rams are, and of course the Bears aren't as good as New England either. But I like the Bears. I think they're going to get their run game going. The key for the Bears is not starting so slowly. They have started crazy slow in a lot of their games. They cannot do that in this game, because I do not think that the Rams to me are another really well-coached team on all sides of the ball, defense, special teams, but especially offense and defense. They can't fall. If they fall behind in this game by 18 points, they're not coming back. So that can't happen. I think you're going to see Caleb Williams scramble a lot of this in this game and make some plays. You saw Bryce Young do that against this Rams defense. I think you're going to see Caleb do the same thing. And Caleb can make some throws that nobody can make. You saw that on that 4th and 8 play against the Packers. What an incredible throw running to his left. That was an insane play by him. I love Matt Stafford. I think he's the NFL MVP. I think they have great receivers. Puka is as good as it gets. Devontae's had a great year. But I really like the Bears in this game. This one is another gut feeling game, because honestly, I do think the Rams are a superior team to the Bears. But sometimes the best team doesn't win in these games. It's the team playing the best. And the Bears, that fourth quarter, and really their second half defensive performance, Dennis Allen really did an outstanding job, and they completely flipped the script on the Packers and were able to take them out of what they wanted to do, get back in the game, and come up with a huge win. I think this is another. Obviously these are all evenly matched teams, and I'm giving you all really close game scores, but that's the way the NFL has this set up. That's why there's so much parity in the league. And it's also why it makes me so angry that the Colts haven't made the playoffs since 2020, because it's set up for teams to compete and get to these points. You look at the Bears, and they change coaches. They go from 4-13 or 5-12 to where they're at now. I think they've won 14 games, lost 4. So I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be super high scoring. Again, I just have a gut feeling that the Bears pull this out, and I think it's going to be really close. I am going to take the Bears in an upset, 30-28. I think it's going to. That is kind of high scoring for a cold weather game, but I really like the matchup for the Bears. I like, if the weather was different, maybe I'd feel a little different, but going from 80 degrees LA to -5 degrees Chicago is going to be a shock to the system. So I do think the Rams are better, but I like the Bears. They've got something this year that it feels like the Commanders had it last year. I hate to use this as a metaphor, but it's like they have a horseshoe shoved up their keister. You know what I mean? Everything just works out for them, and you make your own luck in a lot of ways. But I just feel like the Bears are that team this year that are going to find a way into the NFC Championship game. And so, yeah, that's who I like, the Bears and the Seahawks. So I like the Bears traveling to Seattle for the NFC Championship, and I like the Bills traveling to Houston for a rematch in the AFC Championship, which would be crazy. So those are my picks, guys. Again, let me know who you like in these games. I can totally see every one of these games. I could get them all wrong. Honestly, I could get every one of them wrong. Because again, the Seattle game is a divisional game, and you just never know. The Broncos are at home. They're their number 1 seed. New England has played well pretty much all year. and a lot of people think they're going to win. And then you look at the final game, a lot of people think the Bears are a mirage. So I could be wrong about all these games, but that's the fun of the game, man. When there's so much parity and you don't know who's going to win, that's why you watch the games. That's why they play the games, and I'm excited to see these games. The Colts have played. Let's go through these teams. So the Colts have played the Broncos and won, so they were 1-0. They played the 49ers and kind of got blitzed late in that game, and the Seahawks, which I feel like they really should have won, and then also obviously the Texans twice, so they're 1-4 against the teams remaining. So they played 5 games against these teams. So yeah, a lot of fun matchups. I mean, as an NFL fan, I just like to see really good games. And last week was amazing, and that's why the NFL is king, because they were really good games. And I hope we get to see the same thing this weekend. Hopefully all the guys that are banged up get to play, and there aren't a lot of injuries, so that we can see these teams be healthy for the NFC and for the championship round, because that's a lot of fun as well. So we're inching closer to the Super Bowl and the end of the season. But yeah, those are my picks, just to go back through it and give you guys the times of the games one more time. Bills at Broncos is Saturday at 4:30, with the Broncos being a 1.5-point favorite at home. I like the Bills in that game. And then we move forward to Saturday night, 8 p.m. on Fox. Seattle, a 7-point favorite. I like Seattle, but not by 7. So I have the 49ers covering in that game, but not winning it outright. And then you go to Sunday, 3 p.m., Texans at Patriots. New England, a 3-point favorite on ESPN. And I like the Texans winning a close one there. And then finally, the Bears are at home against the Rams in a Sunday night 6:30 game on NBC. And the Rams are favored by 3.5. And with just a gut feeling, guys, I think the Bears win it. So with that, I'm going to wrap this up. I am going to do a Q&A. That will be my next video, a Colts Q&A, getting back into Colts content a little bit. I've gotten away from it, but I wanted to cover the playoffs because I really love football and I enjoy the playoffs, even though it sucks the Colts are rarely in it these days. So leave your questions for the Q&A below. I am going to put them all together and do a nice long Q&A stream or Q&A video coming up after the weekend, after the games are over, and I'll answer all your questions, and we'll go from there. But also leave me your picks for the divisional round, because I'm curious to see who you guys like and who you see moving forward to the championship round of the NFL playoffs. So I hope everybody has had a great week. Thank God it's Friday. Now we get to enjoy some football this weekend. And to all my Indiana Hoosier fans, let's go. Let's freaking go. One more game. Miami Hurricanes on the itinerary. And I'm excited to watch this game because there's a lot of NFL talent on the field. I like the Miami defensive line, and I'm going to be watching them closely because there's a couple guys. I like their defensive tackle, and I like their second edge rusher, Messidor, and I'm hoping maybe the Colts can get him in the second round. I think he'd be a great pick for the Colts. But as far as the game goes, I am riding with them Indiana Hoosiers. I want to see those Hoosiers go undefeated with one of the greatest seasons of all time, with a hell of a coach in Curt Cignetti. I love their DC too. What a job he's done. Let's go Hoosiers. Let's do something great for the state of Indiana. Y'all been through it, had it rough the last couple years. You had the terrible injuries in the NBA finals, and that sucked. And now the Pacers are kind of struggling without their main guys this year. And then you had to sit through the Colts debacle. So to all my IU alums that listen and to all of the IU fans, I am riding with you. I like Indiana by 10 or more in this game. I love what they've done this year. I'm so happy for you guys, and I hope it culminates with a big win in Miami. Good things happen in Miami for us. We won a Super Bowl there. So I love the Hoosiers in this game, and I hope they win it, and I cannot wait to watch. So congrats to all those fans out there. I'm so happy for you. It must be, I couldn't imagine a run like that. I'm a Syracuse fan, and they can't sniff anything close to, the college football playoffs. So I'm kind of I've kind of adopted the Hoosiers because of in a lot of ways before they got Signetti, the Cuse and the Hoosiers were very similar. But now they're not. The Hoosiers are looking like a dynasty in the making, and Syracuse is still Syracuse. So I am definitely rooting for you guys. You're doing it for all of us. You're not a crappy college team anymore, but you used to be, and we all used to be in the same kind of grab bag of mid college teams. But now all of us mid college teams are rooting for you. So go get that W. I'm sorry for adding on 5 minutes for bigging up the Hoosiers, but man, I'm so happy for their fans. I couldn't imagine if Syracuse ever did something like that. I would be losing my mind. So congrats to all you guys. Again, leave all your questions for the Colts Q&A in the comments. Let me know who you like this weekend, and I will talk to you guys soon. Enjoy football Christmas, man. It doesn't get better than this. You got 4 NFL games and your Indiana Hoosiers fighting and going to Miami to win the Natty. To win the Natty. Let's go. So I will talk to you guys soon. This has been Culture Uncut. I've been your host, Jason Spears. Enjoy all the games, guys. Go Hoosiers.